And so then the question is, did you lose anything except time? Because you know the saying, you snooze, you lose.
My dignity, perhaps.
That assumes you had any to begin with.
Exactly.
True that. True that.
Can we operate in negative numbers when it comes to dignity? Yes.
Absolutely. I've been doing it for years. One day those numbers will come up, but not today.
If you go
I mean,
deep
isn't
enough,
dignity
soon they will flip.
Yeah, and isn't dignity based on that you have a baseline set by society? Well, I don't accept that one anyway. So
Yeah, that's probably very true. That it's based on. It's like the amount of drunk you are. That very much depends on how drunk everyone else is around you.
exactly,
The piano has been drinking, not me. To quote Tom Waits.
it is annoying that when something as benign as a ground just decides to go up and slap you in the face.
Nope, not today.
That's really rude, I would say.
Yeah,
But I mean, you have been stepping on it your entire life, so soon it would rise up. And
Yeah. You've been treading on me your whole life. Now it's my turn.
yeah. If anyone had a reason, then sure.
Honestly,
So
officer, I've had this ongoing beef with the ground for years.
and one day you'll be buried in it. So
if you could afford it.
who's crying?
if a future relative cares to actually check me out of the funeral home,
Yeah. Otherwise, if you're lucky, you might get scattered on it.
is that a win then?
Maybe. And you'll be picked up by the wind and blown in somebody's face.
Wasn't that a song from Bob Dylan? Was that what he was singing about? Getting the ashes of your loved one blown into your face, or dust in the no
The
dust in the
ashes, my
wind.
friend, is blowing in the wind. The ashes is blowing in the wind.
I was thinking about dust in the wind. That's another group, isn't it?
Uh,
Who was that again? Oh, it's all dust in the wind. Well, so is my memory. Turns out
So is this podcast.
but you're back home.
I am. And do you notice anything different? Or can you hear anything different?
Compared to last week, yes.
Oh, I was just going to put in the the sort of like 5 or 6 second delay
Well,
just for shits and giggles.
I oh, I usually listen to the entire episode in half pint in the quality control, but I listened to last week's episode 2 minutes in. Yeah, the edit is good. Good job. And I can't bear to listen to that. It was boxy and also had some, I don't know the technical term for it, but there was some distortion there as well. It was really, really annoying too. I mean, it
Yes,
was
we know.
more.
We had to listen to it live.
Yes, everybody knows how annoying it is to listen to your own voice, and then imagine that in crappy quality as well. Oh,
And low bit rate and what it's probably not the correct term, but what I call digital clang.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, when your voice goes clang. Yeah.
But I mean, it's not. I mean, 8-bit lo-fi that has become a music genre that's really taken off, and it can be really soothing to listen to. That there was nothing soothing about last week's episode. To anyone still here, I'm sorry. I'm never going traveling again ever. I've been to hell and I'm back to corporate hell. So
I say
I mean,
Austria's not that bad, is it?
it wasn't when we were there. We spent a week. On the last day, it was 39 degrees in the shade,
Oh,
And I got a picture from my father-in-law today. Now it's 40, and the next couple of weeks there is no relief in sight. I mean, and everything was brown, and I mean, you walked past any living creature or anything organic, it was sizzling. So
mm,
I'm I'm relatively restrictive when it comes to bathing, but I actually bathe in the Duna River. I mean, you can't not go there, and it's never going to be this hot the next time I'm there. So I actually swam in Austria, and it was nice, and that says a lot. So yes, it was hot.
But you got home okay. The customs didn't take all your Eurocrates from you.
Um, Funny you should say that.
oh no.
um, no, we were smart because my wife, since she is of Austrian heritage, every time she's there, she is buying all the stuffs that you can't get here, foodstuffs, candies, whatnot. And we also brought a good chunk of wine to her brother's wedding in 2 weeks. So we bought an extra suitcase quota for the return trip. And of course, I turned up on the last day when we were packing. Yeah, by the way, I bought these 6 Euro crates that we need to fit as well. Luckily, Euro crates are built to put stuff in, and they are rigid, so they served as protection for some of the more delicate stuff that we needed to bring home. But yeah, I have learned that my backpack fits 4 of these, the smallest kind of Euro crates, to the point where you could barely get the zipper closed. So it looked really good, and I put a lot of stuff in it. And of course, my backpack were turned into the second lane for extra inspection. And but no, they were only curious about some hand sanitizer I had there. So other than that, I was home free. So now I am the proud owner of 6 miniature Euro crates. So yeah, the next projects are going to be Euro crates for the foreseeable future.
Miniature drawers.
Yeah, I took a gamble, and of course, when you are out of your house or workshop, you just remember everything as larger than it actually is. So when I came home and just put the Euro crates up against the wall where I thought I'd place them, they are larger than that designated space. But I built that space with OSBs. I can easily make it fit. But I was sitting in my workshop, thinking things for myself, looking at my Euro crates, and I got a brilliant idea that I can't tell you about for one of the crates, which means that one of them are now out of the equation. So now I need it's a 5 drawer project, but I don't do odd numbers. But I solved that because the idea I had for the 1 Euro crate, the more I think about it, the more I want it for myself as well. So maybe I should make two, and that it should be a giveaway of some sort. I'm not sure. And then I thought, should I even build a drawer rack? Should I just make them into 6 individual projects? Could that be a series? I'm not sure. It needs a bit of more contemplation.
You're in no rush. Or
No.
do you feel in a rush? I mean, you've been away and gone and not in the workshop as much as you would have liked.
Well, it's if I feel that I'm in a rush, it's kind of pointless because a lot of my projects involve my CNC, and I was running that here on Monday, no, Sunday, I think it was, and it made a funny sound and it stopped working in one of the axes. So of course, I took a lot of pictures and sent that to the company who made it. They have like a service page, and that will get directed to the Norwegian seller where I bought it from. But they are notoriously for not following up their customers. I talked to other makers, and they never buy equipment from this company because they don't follow up their customers. They don't answer on phones, email, or anything. Last time I needed to reach out to the company who built the CNC, I ended up having to send them a message on Instagram and say, "Hello, can you contact somebody at your department to say that the people in Norway should contact me because I bought this very expensive CNC and I can't get a hold of you." And then, of course, this one guy came and like, yeah, I got a message here. I should contact you, and I've been on holiday. So it's a one-man operation, and he is not very good at his job. So it's going to be a new round with that. So, of course, I couldn't wait for that. So I took my CNC apart. I think I found the error. I fixed it to the point where I think it's okay, but it would be nice to verify that with someone who has actually all the manuals and the data and the torque settings for all the bolts and everything, because I'm just, yeah, tighten this as much as you can and then a half turn more, and that might not be the way to go. So my next projects might not be CNC related. So yeah, I had to think differently. So I ordered a laser. No, I'm just kidding. But
For a split second, I believed you.
I have so been thinking that. But no, I have done a lot of purchases the last week. I've bought a new grip for my camera to be able to mount more equipment to it, a battery pack, and so on. I got some studio lights, which are a bit on the noisy side. So I'm thinking about just Frankensteining that and putting a bigger fan on and so on. And then I thought, well, if you got this far, you always wanted that external screen so you could manually focus your shots. So what the hell? I'm gonna be in a bad mood the next couple of weeks because I have to go back to work. So at least have some joy in the future. So I ordered a screen as well. So my camera setup, it looks very much professional now, although I don't know how to use it yet. So I need to make something that requires. It's going to be a lot of close-ups in the next video. That's yeah. Doesn't
Look
matter
at
what it
this
is.
crispy close up.
Exactly. So other than that, no. I've been on holiday, came home, broke some equipment, bought some new to suffer the blow, and haven't made anything. So that basically sums up my week. So
Merry times.
did any yes. So how about you? Anybody made anything? Posted anything? Videos, photos, articles?
Maybe.
Go on, Phil, says you had two. All those.
Yes. The office cart trolley drawer assembly unit went out, and it is being pretty well received. Lots of comments of people saying this is rather nice, and I need to make one of those for myself. And people seem to love secondhand drawers. So many comments on that video about secondhand drawers are brilliant because they're just they're everywhere and you just use them for stuff. It's like, yeah, I'm very pleased with that.
Yeah, you should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
This
a
is
nice
very good.
video.
Yeah, so that's been done. I have got another one of those drawers actually, and that's got much more interesting dividers. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that. It's almost like it was designed to hold lots of. It's almost like a, old print setters trays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like one of those, but it's a drawer. So it would have been just in a desk. I'm sure it was in a desk.
Yeah.
And it's got all these tiny little square dividers in it, all wood, all properly joined together. So I have to think of something interesting to do with that.
It's too big to have as a carry cart. I mean, like a toolbox, but everything is laid out, so to say.
Yeah, I mean it
Would
is.
be too heavy as well.
It's pretty well. Yeah,
That depends on what you put in it, of course.
yeah. Empty, it's not too bad, but yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the wood is. It's a dark brown hardwood, so it could be sapele, could be mahogany. Don't know, but it's very well put together. These things. It's just a shame I didn't actually see the rest of the desk. I only found these two drawers.
Yeah, it looks like it came from something interesting.
It would have been something interesting and heavy and nice and industrial, but yeah, never saw it. Ho hum.
So how did you come across the drawers then?
They were in the skip.
Oh, it's a skip find.
Skip find. Yeah.
Isn't everything in Phil's life a skip find?
No. Sometimes it doesn't get as far as the skip before I It's like the two big wooden boxes, one of which I cut in half and stuck on the wall as those cabinets, and the other one I took the side off, and it's now my planer cart. They were going to the skip. I was watching the facilities guys wheel them on a trolley towards the skip, and I shouted out to them, "Are you sending those to the skip?" And they go, "Yeah, they're knackered." I said, "No, they're not. They're mine." They're very nice. They brought them round to the car and helped me load them in and everything.
Nice.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. So that was that, and an article was published with some of my pictures in it on the internet from the Visit Wye Valley and Forest of Dean Tourist Board, who I did an interview with them. It was months ago.
Do you remember the interview?
I remember the interview, and then I remember all the follow-up emails about when it was going to be published, and then I completely forgot about it. Entirely, genuinely forgot about it until I got tagged in a post on Instagram. Oh yeah, that I did that, didn't I?
Surprise!
Which happened to come out on the same day as I posted the cart video, so both accounts got a healthy little uptick on that day.
Nice.
Which was quite pleasant.
Yeah.
And, completely by chance.
I mean, it was a nice article, and I also realized you had a second channel that I did not know about. So, of course,
you did.
I'm one of those who gave you a bit of a boost in the numbers department.
Yes, you did. You are my 1,000th follower.
I was going to say I'm your +1, but all right, 1,000 follower. Yes, sure.
Yeah, I was on 999, and then you appeared, and then I got a little notification on Instagram, 1,000 followers.
Nice.
So yeah,
but how is having a different account that I know some people that have like a maker account and then they have a personal account, but I guess both of them are personal in some respect. But how is it to operate on two different fields? One is photography and one is making. How do you? I've seen all these articles about people, mostly men, having separate families in a neighboring town and leading double lives. How's that working out on social media?
well, it's quite easy. You just have your Dusty diving in skips and making stuff out of scraps, and occasionally making nice things out of expensive wood. Hat on, or you've got your wandering around the woods, looking at trees and hoping for mist, and occasionally old buildings and other interesting things. Hat on.
Yeah.
Yeah. and sometimes there's a little bit of crossover. Sometimes I do some like product shots, which I'm quite pleased with. So that will move on to the other account as well. I go, you know, this is you can look at this from a photographic angle, but not from what the subject is. Oh, there's a bit of cross pollination there, sure, but generally I keep the two things separate as much as I can.
Yeah.
You just check what hat you have on at the moment.
Say again.
Just checking with what hat you have on at the moment, so you don't cross-pollinate it by accident.
Podcast hat.
Yeah, for instance, now it's a podcast hat.
That's I have been playing with the thought that maybe I should not diversify, but should I pick one niche that I feel that I have something to do more of, and then have a separate channel for that, and just keep behind the mistakes for all the rambling stuff. But I mean, everything is just a ramble, isn't it? I wear all the hats all the time. They're glued to my head. I can't really. I wish I could take some hats off, but no, they're stuck there.
It's hats all the way.
Yeah.
Hats all the way down. I keep thinking at one point I want to do a website, so I'm not relying entirely on having all this stuff just parked on social media, and I can actually just have things entirely under my control. But then the two things don't really sit well together in one place, so then you have to have two websites and manage two websites. I can't be bothered with that. So I think
one website is work enough.
One website is work enough, and I've done it so many times now where I've started to make the website, and then I very quickly run into my inability to do website stuff.
I mean, you would think that you working in IT and being good at photography, I mean, those are two of the key things of making websites. I mean, the graphics part of it, knowing how pictures work, so to say. That was a really crude way of saying it.
Well, it's not that. It's just, yes, I work in IT, but websites is a whole separate branch of computing, which I don't.
But
really
it still is computing.
It is computing, but
it is a bit. I'm not sure if I can find a good analogy, just on the tip of my tongue, but it's like building the drawers and then spending the rest of your life just opening and closing them and putting stuff in and take them out. That's not the interesting part. I have made a lot of web pages, and at some point I find joy in figuring out the technicalities about it. Today is a lot easier because my host provider have tools for making a web page, which is really easy, and then you set it up, but it's boring. The upkeep is boring. I can make it so it looks okay, and then, but if it should be interesting to someone enough that it generates traffic to it, there should be some new content there relative, and I can't be bothered. I usually make a web page and then it lives on for 10 years until it dies, because I need to update to the newest protocol or something, and I just wipe that out and I make a new index file and just put a random sentence up as a placeholder. That has been my web pages for a lot of years. And
you mean to say you don't have the flashing under construction banner going on?
Unfortunately, no. But if I stumble over a web page like from the 90s, that would be all the web pages today are made from the same template. It's boring white with some gray and and it's the same menus, it's the same fonts. Mm-hmm. Give me a 98's under construction web page with quote of the day and hyperlinks to different pages with different color and different setup and frames, and I would love that.
Don't forget your hit counter.
Yes, and
with lots and lots of zeros and a
so
small
many
number.
Zeros.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 20 years ago that that might have been a bit depressing because the numbers were basically you every time you worked on the page or your friends, which you
Yeah.
said, could you go in and check if this works? But now you have so much bots just screening all the web pages. So you will get thousands of counters a day. And that's the thing, though. I'm, of course, owning my own domain and hosting that, and the hosting service gives you all the statistics. So I just checked it, and at some point, I've had thousands of visitors on my web page, and they're like, "Ooh, nice, huh?" And then you get all the details, and it's bot. Not a single live person has visited that web page.
Yeah.
So
One day in the future, your hit counter will be more popular if you have fewer hits. You
yeah,
imagine it's a very, very boutique experience. You know, we don't let any old riffraff in here. If you're a bot, you get turned away.
but I've been thinking about that, and someone have used the iceberg analogy. Then here you have the social medias and the open internet, and then you have the dark web, and then you have the backbone, and so on. And everybody's talking about the dark web, but the more you listen to it, they're just describing the internet in the 90s. So, and someone made, it's like a world map of the internet, because everything is now, it's cluster based, because Meta want to keep you on their platform. And then you have Reddit. That's a different. It's like small villages that are not cross pollinating very much, because it's about keeping your own people within your village, and then you have the wasteland in between, which is the dark web, where very few people wanders. And that got me thinking, though. It's, you could just wander into the dark web and just plant a flag. This is the old internet, and then you just bring everything back. You're not allowed to program anything above HTML 1.0, and there's no Python. There is no what's that old thing that went out a few years ago? I don't remember. Flash. Yes, that's banned. Everything is text based. All programming should be done in Notepad. No AI. It would be brilliant. And I saw someone else has had this thought, but they haven't gone long enough, because someone has been talking about bringing back MySpace. The owners of that domain has thought, well, the world is ready to go back to MySpace, but I think that's not far. That's not far enough back.
I mean, you are very much describing my web page. I feel, because I mean, I've al- I've never liked those web page makers back in the day when I started. Dreamweaver came, and
Oh,
everyone everyone loved that because you could move sort of, but it made such clunky crap that just filled with code that didn't need to be there. And as you said, with Squarespace and all of that places, that every template just looks the same and no one looks good.
it's all just rehashed boilerplate nonsense, isn't it?
Yeah. So my personal webpage, that's not for any good use other than more as having a place on the internet that's mine, is just straight HTML coded by hand. Everything is simple as, I mean, it's super simple.
I remember, and I had to go to Wikipedia because it doesn't exist anymore. But when I made the most web pages, all for me, I might add, um, I stumbled over the best software ever made for making web pages, and it was from a company called Sausage Software. It's an Australian company, and the web page builder was called Hot Dog. So the logo is just
Nice.
a sausage, and it was fairly simple. It has the 90s aesthetics, but what it had that I really liked, it could split your site into frames. So if you open up a web page, you could not see the borders of the frames because you could set those to 0, but it divided your screen into how many frames you wanted. So you could have one top frame on the top where you could put menu buttons in. So you can segment your web page very much like you can today. But today, of course, it's drag and drop. Back in that days, you need to set the frames and specify percentages of the screen width. And of course, if someone had a different screen, or of course nobody had smartphones at that time, but if someone had a vertical screen, that would really fuck up the layout of the page. But it wasn't a problem when everybody was sitting on the same CRT screen from Compaq. So yeah, but
800 by 600.
Yeah.
yes.
And no one put that in the vertical mode.
And I'm now reading that Sausage Software was merged into SMS Management and Technology in 2000 and then died off. That's 26 years ago. God damn it.
I guess we're old.
Shit, I'm old.
Yep, absolutely. Get your tables in order and your div classes set up. Yeah, that's about where my internet knowledge, web building knowledge runs out. Unfortunately, it runs out about 2005 when I was last really interested in this stuff.
Yeah.
I assume it's moved on since then.
Well, that depends on what you're doing.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
How advanced you need it to be.
But just talking about the dark web, I think everybody's got this idea that the dark web is all just porn and drugs and all the other things. But from a IT security point of view, the dark web is any web page which sits basically behind a login. So there's Facebook groups which are the dark web. Your company portal to get into your email is the dark web because it's not publicly accessible. So this whole idea that it's the dark web automatically means shady stuff. Yeah, there is shady stuff, but it's a very, very large proportion of it is just stuff that's not publicly available.
Yeah.
For legitimate reasons.
Public archives, library, yeah, everything.
If it sits behind a login,
That's being said though, you find the darkest shit in a library. So it's they surely operate in the dark web for
I
sure.
know libraries. It's full of unimaginable, power and influence
And smut.
and smut.
Intellectual smut at its dirtiest. That's
Anyway, I feel we're sidetracking a little bit off. KJ, what have you done this week?
Well, I've published a video again.
Yes, you did.
I think, I don't remember if I've ever posted videos so close together before, other than when I started back in the day when I had some to spare. I made a little clay project finally. I mean, it feels like this summer is the summer of finishing old projects and stuff that's been nagging in my brain for a long while. So yeah, finally I used up the clay I got from Sarah at Red Rocking Bird over a year ago now. So yeah, and I'm rather happy with the result as well. Even though I end up with a 40-minute sculpting clay clip that I need to cut down to something reasonable, but I think I managed that as well.
No, I think it looked really good. All the attention to detail on the base as well. All that, painting the leaves and stuff.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of diorama videos where people whose painting skills run so many laps around me, you get dizzy. But you pick up a thing or two, what you can do and what you shouldn't do and that sort of thing. And it's funny how all the simple tricks actually work. But then, I mean, I'm no Boylei Hobby Time or Bill Making Stuff or any of those that I follow that are really, really good at it. But I mean, it came out roughly as I hoped it would. So that's good.
it looks really good, and of course, I'm very much into that universe, so I might be biased. But I think it's because of your video. I've been getting a lot of these diorama videos, and it turns out there's a Norwegian. I haven't been able to pinpoint where he's at, but he makes small dioramas on YouTube, and it's the same as when I watch your video. I mean, when you do it, that makes sense. It looks so easy, but if I sat down and I'm gonna make that figure from scratch, or I'm gonna make a felt raccoon or what, I wouldn't know where to start. But when you watch the videos, oh yeah, it's twisting some wire. I have wire. Then it's just taking some cotton wool and just pulling it off and just putting PVA glue on it and just sticking it on and just forming it with his fingers. I have fingers. This is easy. And then you're just sitting there and I can do that. I have that. This is easy. And then you somehow, it's like when you're driving a car and you just forget the last half hour and you just realize, oh, I'm here now. And it's the same watching these videos. Like suddenly there is a diorama there and like, holy shit, that is I couldn't do that in a million years. But all the steps up until it, I'm thinking, oh, I could do this, but no, I can't.
Yeah, it's
But I
like when I
haven't.
was. Sorry,
Sorry.
carry on.
No,
No, carry on.
I was gonna.
Oh no, we're trapped in a loop of you carry on, no,
Yeah.
you carry on.
No, I insist. No, please, no, after you.
I'll seek a quick closure. Seeing all these diorama videos, I realized that not even in kinder, I can't remember working with paper mache. And that is easy, and that is something everybody should make. So I'm thinking at some point I'm gonna have to make a project out of paper mache. So maybe one of the artsy projects I talked about a few episodes ago. Maybe I should, like, yeah, this will all be paper mache. Set that as a prerequisite for a project, but we'll see.
Interesting. I was just going to say, whenever I watch all those, I watch a lot of lino cut videos, and they make it look so impossibly easy. And then when you actually go to make your own lino cut, oh man, I need more practice. So much more
Practice is good.
practice. No, I did some. Last time I used paper mache was at school, and if I remember rightly, it was an end of term thing, and we all had to make something from like our favorite film. And what I did was I made a semi functional alien mask, you know, the alien from Alien
Yeah.
with the car
Xenomorph.
xenomorph. Yeah. Um, it didn't look brilliant, but it had
The
like
face hugger.
a cardboard tube which you pulled and then you let go and like the teeth would shoot out.
Oh yeah.
Ah.
And then I got into a bit of trouble because, not a bit of trouble, but questions were asked because that's an 18 certificate film, or it was at the time. It's been reclassified now. How have you watched that film? I've got it on video, but you're not old enough to have it on video. Let's just gloss over that, shall we? Go and speak to Dave, who's got the video shop.
Yeah, papier mache, I remember it from school as being something that annoyed me because I was never happy with the result I made. But that was probably just because I was bad at it and didn't do enough to actually learn how it worked. Uh, because that sounds like me, especially at that age.
Yeah, and you didn't have YouTube then.
Oh.
Now you can have 3 YouTube videos, 20 minutes, and you will know everything about paper mache, what to use and how to mix it, and so on. In the olden days, you probably had a disgruntled shop teachers who also had to teach the other arts, and he has read in a black and white book with some hand sketches how you can make things out of paper mache, and you did not have PVA glue at that time, right? So you had to collect newspapers for a week, and then you had to buy some cornstarch or go up to the school kitchen to steal some 10-year-old cornstarch and make your own glue. And it's not the best foundation of making a good project.
And I actually, this weekend, we went off on another vacation trip just here in Sweden. And one of the stop was Örebro, which had an open art exhibition. The entire city is, I think it was like 50 things scattered
Oh,
around the city. And one of them was a paper mache project that was amazingly done. It looked like old carved stone. I mean, this could be a prop from like an Indiana Jones play or something like that.
yeah.
Even when it was just, you had to touch it to actually feel, no, this is not heavy stone that's been around for 100 years or more. Uh, and that was, the base was paper mache, which was really impressive. That was that was good for inspiring, because I would like to make something big.
Yeah, and even easier, I've seen two videos in close succession this week where someone just takes styrofoam and how to make that look into wood.
Okay.
And what they do, they just take a knife and they carve in the cracks between like a masonry wall or something, and they do it very roughly, and then they just use a heat gun to melt it.
Ah, yeah.
And then they just have different, they put on a base color, and then they have some water based, they call them washes, and they just spray it on and just go on with a pencil. And then within a few minutes, it looks like hard rock. And it's the same with, maybe it's the same person who took a sheet of styrofoam and just made some lines in it, and then we're gonna make this look like wood, and then just took a metal brush and just made some brush marks in it, and then yeah, again a heat gun to make the grooves melt and be more organic, and then they just put on some red base coat. Again, I wouldn't have gone with red without knowing it, and then they started putting on various shades of brown and gray, and suddenly it was the trunk of a tree. You could not say that that wasn't a tree. That's amazing. And it would be cool to do something like that, make a prop for something, but I can't really. I could make one rock as a project, but it should be something, a part of something larger, or serve a function or something.
Yeah. So kind of Halloween decorations, perhaps.
Yeah.
Make a gravestone. That's kind of cool. Not that it's been done over, but we could use one.
The problem is, could you? I'm more into, what's it called, guerrilla art, when you make
Gorilla,
something
gorilla art, yeah.
and you just put it in a public place overnight. So could you make something that you could just leave somewhere and it would look very out of place, like a huge boulder of styrofoam on top of something that makes it look extremely dangerous or something, and then yeah.
Well, yeah, I suppose. Yeah, in the classic student prank of putting a traffic cone on some statue's head. You
Hmm,
just go and put like a massive boulder on something's head.
yeah. There is a statue in the city of Trondheim. In the middle of the square of the city, there's a huge statue. It is 15 meters tall, and it's sitting on, it's a person, and it's sitting on top of this huge column. And several times a year, someone places something. I think it was during the World Championship in football. Somebody put a Norwegian flag on the statue as a cape. Now that turned out to be the fire brigade, because they just rolled up with their ladder truck in the middle of the night and just put it on and went down again, and nobody were the wiser. But that's not impressive because that's their job basically. But sometimes you see something that's, someone put a hat on him or something, and it's obvious that you can't climb that without shooting with a bow and arrow to get a rope up, and you need not anybody can climb 15 meters up a steep column even with just a rope. So you need someone who knows climbing technique, but nobody knows who this is. Is it the same persons several times a year that just do these pranks, or are there different people at any different time? Because I also have stuff I want to put on that statue, but it's a bit of a it's an undertaking.
Then you need a delivery mechanism as well.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I think
That's
today I'm not as impressed as I would have been 10 years ago, because today probably someone could just put a hat on that statue with a drone. It would
yeah,
take 20 seconds to just fly up, and then you have a servo with the arm that just releases the hat, and you just put it on, and then you fly away.
yeah. That you need something that's bigger than a drone. But it depends on what laws you have. I mean, in the UK, I think it's illegal to have a drone that drops stuff, if I understand it correctly.
Well, as someone who has the Civic Aviation Authority drone license,
Ooh.
I can't remember.
Huh. You know, we have that in Norway as well. And the problem is that a few years ago, they said that if you want to fly a drone over a certain size in public areas, you need to have this certificate. Fine. And it's not more advanced that you go on a web page and you answer some questions, and voila, you get a certificate. You're now a certified drone and you have read the rules and regulations. The problem is, of course, when you're certified, that is stored somewhere. And that list was now been made available to the Norwegian army. And they have seen what's happened in Ukraine and whatnot, and they realize that drones are a big thing. You have a lot of companies in Norway now working on drone technology, both in sea and air, with regards to defense. And the military went out. We now have a huge list over operators of drones, and they have also registered what kind of drones they have. So they have a list of drones that might get confiscated. So you know that if Norway go into a conflict anywhere, you know that drones are most likely going to be a part of it, and then you know who's going to be drafted. It's the people who know how to fly drones, and that's the people who now volunteer to put on that list. And then you have people like me. I'm not good at flying drones, but I'm not registered, so I'm not on any official list. And I'm today I feel very happy that I never like. All right, I'm going to be a good boy. I'm going to take this certificate. I'm more than happy to fly an unlicensed drone and risk being caught and then losing the drone as confiscation. But
Aren't
no,
you very glad now that you don't have a drone license, so you couldn't possibly fire off your rocket motor propelled whatever it was from a drone? Skills which may be valuable in other government areas.
yeah, that's hopefully the Norwegian defense don't watch my YouTube channels, because we just take this one and just put him out there and give him some tools. He will surely make
It's a nice
damage.
decoy, at least.
Yes.
Yes. Now, your multi-million-pound rocket launcher is good, but have you thought about putting a two-stroke on it?
Exactly. They need the different thinkers.
I wonder if the military thinks better or worse of a pilot who crashes his drones and gets new ones all the time. Is that better or worse for considering what the military is doing with their drones?
Yeah, you don't get the drone back, because you crash it and blow it up, and of course if you return it, then they will have spotted it and they can trace it back to you. So it's training to be a terrorist pilot, isn't it? You just need to learn how to take off and fly. Landing is never on the curriculum. That is not relevant in your
Be
user
good
case.
enough not to crash it on your own head.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe you need some sort of bandana, perhaps a white bandana with like a red dot on it that you tie on. just before you take off.
I mean, I would
We're bringing that fashion back.
I would do that if I were deployed and were forced to do be a drone pilot. I would put a little Japanese figurine on mine with a bandana on it.
A little Godzilla with a bandana.
Yeah, but I saw that. I think it was in the early bomber planes where they had to go into a dive to drop the bombs, and then they had to level out the old prop planes. And what they did is they mounted like this air ride siren on it, but instead of the handle, you just had it mounted on the wing because when you reach a certain speed, you got this air ride siren sound, and it was just to make people on the ground afraid because they knew something was coming. So you made panic before you've even dropped the bombs. And I've seen a guy do this on drones. It 3D prints some air ride sirens and he put it on his radio controlled aircrafts and so on and fly around and just make this. Probably loved by the neighbors.
I wonder what's the legality on that. How much of that noise you can do
Yeah.
before someone comes knocking.
I imagine it's probably at least 99 or 100% illegal.
Yeah. But then again, you're just one conflict away on a national level. And once you are at a war, then nobody cares if it's illegal. Then you're an asset, and then they're paying you for that illegal activity. So
Yeah.
it's just
Well, it sounds like
it's just perspective, isn't it?
near to where I live, sometimes you can hear the down at Avonmouth docks. Not that there's really any docks there anymore. It's just a very, very large industrial site now, and they have some chemical plants and energy plants and plants producing things which, if it were to catch fire or to leak, would be leaking some pretty nasty stuff into the atmosphere. So every it's the second day of the month. So so 2 o'clock on the second day of the month they test the alarm system, and if the wind is blowing in the right direction, all you hear is air raid sirens. And the first time I ever heard that, I thought, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah, because they just assume that you know that.
They just assume that you know that. But if you haven't lived in this part of town, and then just run random, let's say it's a Tuesday afternoon at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you just hear air raid sirens going off.
Yeah.
It's a little disconcerting.
I've mentioned this before, but you can buy those online really cheap, right? And like an air ride siren, so you can have one for yourself. So every Sunday at 11 o'clock, you can. I'm just practicing for emergencies.
Honk back.
Yeah. Could they really blame you for that?
Well, probably not.
No. But
No.
you said something. I don't remember verbatim what you said, but you remember the aux cable, right? For audio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still use it.
I still use one
That's
in the car.
That's because you're old. Kids today, they don't know what it is, and they don't have a use for it because all the equipment today is Bluetooth. You can get a vinyl record player with Bluetooth connectivity to some speakers somewhere, and I know that the neighbors they have a hot tub that they use sometimes, and then they like to listen to music, but it's the wrong kind of music. But I'm pretty sure they don't know what an aux cable is, and that means that they're using Bluetooth. And I've seen online now for £2, you get a small circuit board which you attach a 9-volt battery to, and it has two antennas, directional. So you can basically block any Bluetooth signal within 20 meters radius. I mean, illegal as hell if you call the radio airwaves administration, but the neighbor wouldn't suspect that being in afflicted upon them. They're just it's some bug in the software or something. But I'm very much contemplating getting one. And I remember my father telling his story. Him being a radio engineer, he had, which I now have but don't know how to use, some very powerful radio transmitters. He was licensed to using them. I wouldn't, so it would be lighting up a beacon saying "Here I am" for the authorities. But at some point, they realized in the good old times, where before people were flying drones, they were driving radio-controlled aircraft, and he could on his radio just turn the wheel and hit the send button, and then he could just find the frequency which that radio controlled plane was operating on. So of course he and a friend from school, they saw this guy flying this radio controlled airplane, and they just like my father just, oh, watch this, and he went in and got his radio and just flicked it on and turned the knob until you could see the plane going into nosedive. And then after 5 seconds, he let go of the button, and then the guy on the ground regained control of the aircraft. And they did that a few times until he panicked and probably landed his aircraft and never understood what happened to it. And that got me thinking, though, that would probably have been good knowledge to have today with regards to drones and so on. And that's also why they're flying them by fiber optics. So it's, yeah, maybe one shouldn't talk publicly on a podcast what you know and what equipment you please don't draft me. I'm not I need my indoor toilet. I don't work well with other people, and please don't draft me.
Once again, all conversation is recorded for entertainment purposes only. No one's got any of those Bluetooth radio signal blockers, although if you were to have one of those in your pocket, it would make a light work of those antisocial pricks that have those massive speakers that like to walk around pumping out their terrible music and their attitude of, I can come and say something at me then.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have those where you are, but
Nope.
you live in
I
a much
am
more civilized society.
well. That depends. My problem has always been the opposite side of that spectrum. People who play music just on their phone speaker,
Yes, you want to have.
because that sounds terrible. You can buy a simple, cheap Bluetooth speaker that sounds so much better. Why do I have to listen to the crap in a crappy setting as well? I would be so much happier with it being a little louder, but actually having the full register of sounds and not just being the what you get from a micro
Well, in the
I'm got
olden
speaker.
days,
You know.
when they still, before they took away the headphone jack, the temptation just to carry around like a bunch of cheap headphones in a bag. Anyone who's playing music off their phone, just give them a pair of headphones. Like, take these, and shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah, or the good old days when they were headphones cabled, you could just carry around scissors. That's the ultimate power move. You just walk up to them and like snip. Um,
That's how you
but
make friends.
yeah, I remember it was when I was studying. I was taking the bus every day, and I got on at the same time with this one person who had these. I don't remember the brand, but it's like the open back headsets.
Mhm.
So that person probably thought that she was sitting in her own world listening to her music, but she was blasting it just as loudly out to the rest of us. And I was contemplating, just one day I'm going to sit behind her and I'm just going to have two small scissors and like snip, snip. But of course, I'm glad I never did. But that, and I'm going to tread lightly here, not going on to a full blown rant, but people seem content with bad audio today because I've listened to a lot of music. I mean, back in my day when I was into hi-fi, building stereos and whatnot, at some point you turn the volume up to the point where the amplifier can't deliver enough power to the speakers, or the speakers are not rated for the amount of power, and you get that distortion sound, which is really ugly. So you have to dial it back a few notches until it's listenable again. And sometimes I'm listening to music that's like, oh my god, there's so much distortion here. And is the audio levels off? No. Is it a bad record? No, this is made by a professional label. This is a professional artist, but they make. Someone said, "Oh, this distortion sound of a speaker dying. That's cool. Let's sample that and use it." So now they're making music that sounds like a speaker dying, and kids seem to be fine with that. So I mean, it wouldn't help that they gone from like the crappy speaker off a phone and got a relatively decent Bluetooth speaker for £2. It will still sound shitty because the music they're listening to now is it's made shitty.
Well, not just that. Here's I'm very aware of the time, but a quick shout out to our good friends over at Stationery Adjacent podcast. And I know Justin has serious beef, not just with modern music, but with remasters of old albums. As he said, the albums he's got on vinyl from 30 odd years ago sound fantastic when played through a decent setup. But as soon as he sees the word remastered on something, his heart just sinks because he knows that all they would have done is they've just cranked up the bass
Yeah.
and cleaned up all the analog recording so it's all really crisp, but too clean.
Yeah, too clean is a problem.
Yeah. It's like 4K restorations of films. You watch films which you used to watch, on VHS
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
even on DVD, and these are like, oh, it's a 4K restoration. Yeah, it looks rubbish. It looks
And
like it's record. It looks like a cheap TV movie now.
Exactly. Yeah.
and that's another thing though. I made a song together with a few friends at work at some point, and one of them is an audio technician, and the other one is a professional musician. And those two in combination were a pain in the ass because they could listen to any music and, oh, this is offbeat. So I was playing the bass, and all right, the bass playing is good, but you need to redo this because you are like a thousandth millisecond off here, and you're a thousand millisecond too early here. And then, of course, once you get to the 98%, then they say, oh, the rest 2% we just fix in post, where they take a note and they just drag it a few milliseconds on a timeline to make it feel. So, of course, the music is perfect, but it sounds too clinical. And
Yeah,
that's
it
also the
dies.
thing. You can have some of the bands from the 60s. When you're listening to it, it is a groove to it, and it's obvious that someone is playing it, and it sounds really good. And then when they remaster it, they also tinker with the timeline. So, all right, Jimi Hendrix were off by half a beat here, so we're moving that tone. And yes, it's perfect on a timeline, but it doesn't have that feeling anymore. So yeah, it becomes too clinical. So they're ruining it.
Yeah. Just because something is bad, it doesn't mean that the other end of the scale is what you want.
Yeah. So remember that, people. Just because something is bad doesn't mean it's not good.
Perfect.
Yeah, you heard it here first. And probably also last.
Well, this is the end of the episode, so
It is. Thank God.
I wonder what episode it was.
think it was 151, wasn't it?
You.
So now you're.
Oh yeah, by the way, last week that was episode 150, big milestone episode. We didn't mention it at all.
We didn't even remember it before or after. So
Yeah, who cares? Numbers are just a number.
but I mean, it's we're coming up to 3 years now soon, so there's a new opportunity to forget another celebration. So
Let that just coast by.
yeah. We might have cake by Christmas. Who knows?